Hi, thank you for watching us here at Tax Talk UK, where we talk about all things tax and consider other important aspects of working for yourself, running a small business and being self-employed. So today I'm going to show you, as part of our bite-size demo series, showing you how to use your Quickbooks software. I'm going to show you how to deal with an overpayment, either an overpayment made to you from your customer or client, or an overpayment that you have made to your supplier. So before I get on to that, if I could please ask you to take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you'll easily be able to refer back to this information if you should need to. And also you'll be able to navigate to through our playlist into the Quickbooks playlist, which will then show you the whole series of bite-sized demos that we have available, all with the purpose of helping you to understand and use your Quickbooks software better. So back then to what happens if you have an overpayment. So I am just going to pop into the software and show you. So into our dashboard then. So if I go into the current account, and I'm looking at this payment here for £1,800. I'm going to click it onto categorize because that's not the match that I'm looking for. So this is actually a customer who has an outstanding invoice for £960, but they have actually paid £1,800. Now, it's been agreed in this scenario with this customer that we will hold on to that payment because shortly they'll be making a further purchase and they want it to be deducted from that. So that is absolutely fine. But we don't want to leave this transaction on our bank feed because, of course, we want to be allocating all of the transactions in our bank feed in a timely fashion, so that all of the accounts are up to date. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this payment onto the customer's account, taking it out of the bank feed, and so that it's allocated, and just leave it sat on the customer's account until such time that the further invoice has been raised. Now, there's two ways that we can do this. We can either put the whole of this payment onto the customer's account and leave the invoice outstanding also, and wait so we can show clearly on the statements a trail, or we could allocate the invoice that we've already issued against this payment and put the remainder onto the customer's account. Now, when I talk about putting it onto the customer's account, so you will remember from other videos, in terms of the overall accounting and the reporting that we have to do, regardless of your trading style, we only actually need to know the total debtors, the total amount of money that's outstanding from your customers to you. But of course, it's impractical for you to only know this figure. You need to know a breakdown, of course, of who owes you what, so that you can chase it up, so that you can manage this accordingly. So that's effectively what we're going to do, is we're going to move it to the debtors, allocated to the correct customer, until such time that we've got an invoice to allocate it against. So if we wanted to allocate the full payment, we would simply, on the transaction, we would have the categorize option selected. Now, we need to always put a customer name, because otherwise, if we're trying to allocate to the debtors, the software won't actually accept. So if you forget to put that in, it will prompt you, it won't let you save, because if you're allocating to the debtors category, the software needs to know which customer account it's going to be putting that on. So if we just type debtors, Now, always for the VAT, regardless of whether you're VAT registered, whether you do cash accounting or sales account, cash accounting or standard accounting, you would always put no VAT on this transaction, because this is simply moving the transaction from the bank feed onto the debtors. So of course you will know that if you are VAT registered, depending on whether you do standard or standard accounting or cash accounting, the VAT information will either be pulled from the invoice or from the payment of that invoice. So because this is effectively moving items on the off the bank feed, we will have a no VAT, and again the software will not let you put anything else. So we would just click add to add that to the customer account, but I'm not just going to hit that because I want to show you too how to deal with it if you actually wanted to allocate that payment against partially against an invoice and leave the rest on the debtor's account. So then if we go to find match and find other matches, because I want to find a different one. It's before the, no, it's not. So I'm going to type in the name, turn off the suggested matches. And so now this is the invoice that I want to allocate it. This is the customer who has made this payment. So I want to allocate of that £1,800, I want to record £960 against this invoice, and I want to leave the rest on their debtor account. Now, it's just because I clicked in it, no mistake. So if I click the box here, you can see that it's allocated the 960 payment now. So that invoice will be marked as paid. And you can see here in our little transaction summary, it's telling us that the selected transaction is £960. The downloaded transaction is 1,800. So we have 840, and this is the overpayment. So if I just toggle the resolve on, it will give me the opportunity here to actually fill the fields, and we're going to do exactly the same as I did if I was allocating the whole or moving the whole of the payment across to the account. I'm going to allocate this to debtors, and again we want no VAT. So now you can see we have now allocated that complete 1,800 payment by 960 to the actual payment of the invoice, and 840 will sit on the debtors account for that customer, which means that when we raise the next invoice, we can just allocate that that overpayment against the invoice in the same way that we would match a credit note, which we looked at in a previous video. So hopefully that makes sense to you, and you can see what we're doing now. This is customer or client overpayment, so that is going to debtors. If you have an overpayment for a supplier, it is exactly the same principle. You're doing exactly the same thing in terms of you must have the account name, the no VAT, but instead of debtors, you are putting it to creditors. So hopefully this helps, and thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and please do like the video if you have found it helpful. Thank you. Goodbye.